In the early 50s, peaches and tomatoes made a sweet combination during the early years of L.H. Piggott and Girls in Benton Harbor. In 1980, George McManus married one of the girls and 13 years later bought the farm from Bud and Frances Piggott. George and wife Lori have grown the family operation to nearly 650 acres.
Our main crop is tomatoes, but we don't grow the most acres of tomatoes. We have about 85 acres of tomatoes. Last year it was 100. We cut back a little bit. Some growers did, just based on what we thought might be the repercussions of that salmonella scare. We raised about 150 acres of cucumbers, slicers, all place packed. We're careful about our packing operation, and we look at everything when it goes in the box. We're kind of the old style on that, but it works well for us. We raised about 20 acres of summer squash, zucchini, and yellow squash, 4 or 5 acres of eggplant, and about 4 or 5 acres of bell pepper, and then some just odds and ends of different crops that we raise for our farm market. A few pumpkins and a few gourds and a few watermelons. We try to keep that all under about 280 acres or so, 250, 280, never over 300, and then rotate. So we've always got fresh fields to come back into. We use the corn and beans in the rotation more than anything else for weed control and disease control. We just stay out of the field, helps with soil-borne diseases, and with this Roundup Ready corn and beans that growers are using now, works out well for me because I find the fields are quite clean when I go back in. So I don't need to fumigate for weeds, and you can tell I don't really have a weed problem either. So it works well for me. I don't personally raise corn or beans. I just rent the ground out to another grower, and we work well together, and he likes it because he's always coming into fresh ground for corn and beans following a vegetable crop, and his yields are quite good because he's using up residual fertilizer that we use. So that rotation works well for us, for both growers.
You know, there's a lot of growers that you drive by at 40 miles an hour, but when you drive by George, you slow down to 10 or 15 because you really want to look at what he's doing, because you might get some good ideas. His use of rotations, cover crops, and manure management is second to none. His fields look excellent. He's been into that program for quite a few years, and he could write the book on it now.
He's an excellent farmer, I think. You know, I think he had 2 good teachers. He had his father, and his father-in-law helped him along in the beginning.
When are you going to be done with tomatoes?
George serves on the Advisory Council for the Southwest Michigan Research and Extension Center in Benton Harbor and is a regular contributor with MSU researchers and extension educators. The operation's progressive production practices start in the field, where son-in-law Jason makes sure the plants get what they need to produce a quality crop.
It's drip irrigation where we don't do any overhead spraying, so none of the produce actually touches the water. It's actually underneath the plastic. They were thinking that you could run into some problems with the produce if it's constantly being hit with water on the outside of the fruit. Not only the quality of the produce, but nowadays everybody's worried about the E. coli, salmonella stuff, but this avoids that problem completely by the fruit never even touching it, any of the water.
In the fields, tomatoes and cucumbers are hand-picked and then moved to sister-in-law Katie's part of the operation.
Well, I manage the packing shed, whether it be cucumbers or tomatoes, whatever we pack, I manage all the shed. I have about 50 workers. They come in here and they're picked out in the field, of course, and then we wash them and wax them, and they're sorted, number 1s, number 2s, and however what packages they want them in that day, that's what we pack them in that day.
The newest addition to the operation is the farm market. 75% of the produce sold is grown on the farm, with local growers providing additional fruit and vegetables.
We have always, since the start of our farm, sold tomatoes and cucumbers out here to the public by the road. And in 2003, we decided to build this market because we had already got kind of a business going. And because on our farm, what we do is we grow commercially, and all our first quality goes out to commercial orders. But we sell all our second quality tomatoes and cucumbers here at a discount.
For their outstanding farm practices and helping to advance progressive production techniques in Michigan, L.H. Piggott and Girls of Benton Harbor receives the 2009 Michigan Vegetable Council Master Farmer Award.